Hey guys, welcome to the Live Well, brought to you by Digital Sportsman, where we get together with our community and talk fishing. The show's fixing to start, we're getting everything ready. But in the meantime, we want to tell you about our fine partners that not only make this show possible, but are companies that we absolutely love and stand behind. Groove Fishing, changing the norm of tackle storage. Sonar Pros, specializing in high-end installations across all electronic brands. Go where the pros go. Lipsticker Fishing, specializing in putting clients on giant Lake Lanier bass. Bill Payne's Guide Service. Fish with a legend on Lake Allatoona, seasonal smallmouth trips, or even get your sonar dialed in. Brooks Anderson Fishing. Guide trips and educating today's anglers on Lake Lanier. Big League Charters. Fish with a pro on Tellico, Fort Loudon, Watts Bar, and Chickamauga. Money Saver Lure Retrieval. Designed to break your lure free from almost any snag. Fishers of Hope. Benefit fishing tournaments to help people in need. Serve IT. Industry-leading IT services for your business. Change the way you manage IT. Turner Tire. Jasper, Georgia's most trusted family-owned tire center. Atlanta Safe House. The trusted source for safes and gun safes in Tennessee, Georgia, Kentucky, and Alabama. And of course, Digital Sportsman. A new way to discover and book unforgettable outdoor experiences with local trusted guides. Go to fngo.com to get direct links to all our fine partners. Get ready and let's talk fishing. All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Live Well this Tuesday night. Hey, appreciate you guys joining us. We got a hell of a show for you tonight. Got a hell of a guest. Been looking forward to getting this gentleman on our show. Mr. Seth Feider is in the house. He's backstage right now, waiting on us to get basically through all the business aspect of the podcast. Listen, make sure you got your questions ready for him. We want to squeeze him for as much juice as we possibly can. It's going to be a good time. Appreciate all you guys in the comments showing up. You better be ready. All right, you better have your notepad out. Better be ready to take some notes. Let's go ahead and take care of a little bit of business. Of course, we got the Toys for Tots tournament, December 6th. Listen, guys, you better go ahead and get signed up. Registration ends at the end of November. $80 per boat. Plus an unwrapped toy going to help the Hall County and Pickens County Toys for Tots. And again, listen, $5,000 guaranteed first place prize. If you drive a Phoenix, you got a little contingency money right there. You can do that. Now, you can sign up the day of. So make sure that, if you want to fish, you're going to be there. But you're going to blast off in the order of which you sign up. So just remember that. Go ahead and get signed up. Now, a couple other things real quick. Blue Ridge Marine, Fill a Boat Toy Drive, what they're collecting, toys, sports items, books, stocking stuffers, cash donations accepted on site. Kind of the same thing we're doing, trying to help out some kids, make them all happy. Drop-off locations, Blue Ridge Marine, 12166 Morganton Highway, Morganton, Georgia, 30560. Tell Jen that you saw it here at Fish North, Georgia. Now, on a serious note, you people up in Lake Hartwell, December 21st, benefit fishing tournament for Hunter Piling and his family. Listen, he is dealing with an inoperable brain tumor that is cancerous. Okay, bad situation. But what we can do is try to help out, especially in the holiday, season. Bring a little bit of support and some help to that family. N&C Marine, Boating Atlanta, they're all putting it on. If you want some information, contact Greg Kellum, 706-371-1120, or Courtney Kellum, 706-491-5379. They're going to have a raffle as well. And I think even Emil Wagner and a couple other pros are going to be giving away half-day trips to that. But listen, it's things like this that's going to make you feel good. So do that. And of course, our buddies over at Sonar Pros, they got a Black Friday sale going on. $400 off selected Garmin products. And listen, while you're there, you might as well get it rigged up by the best. You better go ahead and do it because a bunch of pros are going to be bringing their boats to Trent, getting ready for the 26th season. And the good thing, if you let Sonar Pros rig it, you'll never have to go back and get somebody to fix it. So check out Sonar Pros and their Black Friday sale. So let's go ahead and start bringing in the crew. We got Clint right here.
What's up, guys? Good to be here. I'm fired up for this one. Fired up for this one.
You're fired up.
Yeah.
Tony's here as well. And then, of course, our guest right there. There you go, Mr. Seth Feider. Seth, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
I tell you what, listen, we met at the bar last year down at ICAST and all that. I made some promises that I can't actually keep tonight, but I'm glad you decided to show up. And Tony's laughing. We'll talk about it later, guys, tomorrow on lunch break. I'll tell you what I promised Seth. I kind of lied to him. But listen, how you doing? Where you at? You in Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm at home right now.
See, listen, I heard you were a big duck hunter and all that. I see what all, you got on the wall back there. You like the duck hunt?
Yeah, I love it. Love duck hunting, turkey hunting. We're getting into deer hunting a little bit this year. I just got a farm, so I've been sitting out there a little bit, but it ain't for me.
You know what, the deer hunt? See, I like the deer hunt.
I just watch them. I mean, I don't even know what I'm doing out there. I don't know.
Well, are you like letting them walk or just because
and
they're on the farm or what? Like, are you actually hunting them or are you just seeing them around?
Yeah, no, I've been on the tree stand a few times. I got one like decent one I've been getting some pictures of, so I've kind of been waiting for him, but I don't know why. I've just been sitting out there watching does and little bucks run around. But
how many tags do you guys get in Minnesota?
Well, I think I can shoot pretty much unlimited deer at my place because we're in the CWD zone.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm not gonna go overkill on it, but I think I can buy about as many doe tags as I want.
What's CWD stand for? Like can and will destroy or what?
No, it's chronic wasting disease. I don't think it exists, but
gotcha.
According to our DNR, it does.
Yeah, I know. Well, listen, like I've never duck hunted. My son has decided he's 23 in the last year or two to get into duck hunting, but his ass goes over here to Lake Lanier, and there's like 6 ducks and maybe 2 geese on the entire lake, and he thinks that is fun. He hates to fish. He don't like the deer hunt, but for some reason he'll sit on an island on Lake Lanier and like just wait for that one damn duck to fly over. He's never killed anything, but he thinks duck hunting is the greatest thing in the world. So maybe as you and I become friends, maybe you can take my son duck hunting one day.
We do that. We haven't been killing that much up here either, but we'll get more than one.
Yeah, I promise
you more than one, anyways.
Yeah, I promise you, there's more up there than there is daggum on Lake Lanier.
Are they getting smarter like fish are, or what?
Yeah, I don't know. Like we've just been hunting, mostly been hunting mallards lately on like little water, and like they pour in there about 20 minutes before shooting time till about 5 minutes before shooting time. You sit there hunched down till the timer goes off, pop up, shoot, and like we don't see another duck the rest of the day. Like they're just twilighting in the morning, and we just don't have the weather to get them really.
It hasn't been cold yet.
Yeah, haven't really got them to like relax at all. They're just they fly in the dark, and there's nothing you can do with them right now. So
yeah, well, I like to turkey hunt a little bit. I suck at it, but I like to do it.
Yeah.
Deer hunting is what I like the best, of course, fishing and all that. So you guys over in the comment section, hey, get your questions ready. We got a bunch of them, and I'm going to throw Seth a softball question because we argue about it all the time on this show. All right, Seth, this is going to determine whether I like you or not.
Okay.
Is it Rapala or Rapala?
I mean, it's both. I say Rapala, but yes! I mean, you can ask the people that work there. You can either or is acceptable.
Well, see, I always say Rapala, and I got some smart ass, co-host over there goes, it's Rapala. And I'm like, no, dude, it's Rapala in Georgia. How about this? Crappie or crappie?
I guess crappie.
Dude, he's on.
He's on fire.
I mean, or they're depends where you go, dude. They got about 15 different names depending on where you are in the country.
Sac-a-lait.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they're perch, specks, sac-a-lait.
Yeah,
like down south, you guys call everything a perch, and you like don't even have perch. It's crazy.
Exactly. I know we do, right? It's just because we're dumb. We don't know what the hell we're doing. Let me ask you this: have you ever fished Lake Lanier, or what do you think about Lake Lanier? If you've
been there one time, we had an elite series there.
2019, I think.
Yeah, right back. About then. Yeah, Paul Mueller won it. It was pretty fun. That was before scope and all, but yeah, I'd like to go. I hear nothing but great stuff about it.
Dude, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Cool yeah.
All right. So, Tony, I'm going to let you jump on with a question right here. Shoot one for the man.
Well, you're going to stick me right in the middle of the fire. I'm thinking deep thoughts. We're talking hunting and stuff. So I'm sitting there, Seth, I went back and watched a bunch of podcasts and stuff like that with you, with Mercer, and some stuff. And one of my biggest questions that I got out of it is, and I know this is going to go deep real quick. What changed for you? You went through that. You had that spell when you first got on. You had a rough year. What changed? What you said you went back to fishing your style. Explain that to me, because that's one of my biggest things in tournament fishing. I get caught up in dock talk and stuff like that. What changed? Yeah. What changed for you?
Well, I just kind of I was falling off a cliff, really, trying to do stuff the way, quote unquote, it should be done. And I just kind of went back to my strengths and how I caught them my entire life instead of, doing what, every place you go has got a little different. There's always, you got to do this, you got to do that. And it's like, I don't know, they'll eat a green pumpkin jig on every lake in the country. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. There's definitely like little niche baits for like certain parts of the country. You probably see a lot on Lanier, like herring lakes are kind of notorious for stuff like that. But you can still catch them on like whatever you want to catch them on, wherever you go. And I kind of just got back to doing me instead of, you know, doing what quote unquote you should be doing.
So
you think,
and I stopped caring a lot too. That made a big difference.
So
So afraid to fail that you can't have any success doing that. You know what I mean?
What
So
gave you the most pressure? Like when you were struggling, like what do you think the biggest pressure was to do well? Like you say, like,
money. Yeah.
Hell yeah, money.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to finish 50th place because like
Yeah.
50th place paid 10 grand at the time. I was like, shit, all I got to do is catch me about 12 pounds, 4 ounces tomorrow, and I get 50th place. You know what I mean? But when you shoot for 12 pounds, 4 ounces, you catch 10 pounds. You know what I mean? And you got to be shooting for 25. And then when you mess up, you catch 17 and you end up 25th. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Tony, you got a follow up? I think you were getting
I basically was just kind of going on what he said. So do you think a lot of guys overthink what they're doing when they're fishing tournaments, or if they're trying to go to that next level? Are they overthinking a lot of it and just trying to do too much? And maybe they're trying to do other person's game, catch another man's fish, so to speak.
Yeah. Getting caught up in dock talk and, you know, things of that nature are really detrimental, I think. Some people it works for. There's some people you can be like, hey man, you gotta throw this. They pick it up and just catch them on it. But it's not the case for me. I gotta throw like the handful of baits I really like to throw, and that's it.
Well, and the reason I started off with that question, I just clarify real quick, because watching you fish, watching your the way you talk, you're one of the guys. You're one of us. I mean, it's like you come across as like, hey, I could be out there fishing the pro level. You know what I'm saying? So when you said that, you had to stop and just go back to doing what you normally do and stop listening to everybody else's stuff and stop, you know, because we all get caught up buying the new baits and doing the crazy stuff, and then we wonder, well, I didn't catch what he caught on it. And it really spoke to me when I heard you say that. You said, you know, I basically heck with it. I'm gonna fish my way and go for broke. And I really thought a lot of that. And I really appreciate you answering that question.
Yeah.
There you go. Tony blowing smoke up your ass already early.
Well, you put me right on the spot. I was thinking deep questions. I wasn't thinking hunting and stuff.
You know why I did that? Because I knew Clint was ready and you were sitting over there. I said, hell yeah, I'm gonna put Tony on the spot right here. All right, listen, here's a viewer question from Papa Pond Hopper. What's your guys' winter bait selection since we're getting into the end of fall? Seth, I'm gonna let you answer that because I guess, you know, up north it's a little bit different, and you can kind of, you know, maybe if you were down south, you can throw in a few selections as well.
Yeah, it depends how far south you're going, but up around here, winter stuff. I mean, if it's not frozen, you know, jig head minnow catches them year round. A blade bait like an old sonar, something like that. That works really well when it's super cold. And then, you know, suspending jerk bait as well. If you go a little further south, you know, you can still catch them trapping and chatter baiting and things of that nature. But up here, that's pretty much the three you need.
Yeah, I want to follow up with that blade bait because I watched a video of you today throwing. What is the version of the Rapala? What was the name of the Rapala?
The ripping wrap.
Ripping wrap. So down here, we get into the ditch bite here on Lake Lanier and all our Highland reservoirs, and we got 52,000 different ways to catch them. But the one that intrigues me is the blade bait. And if you were down south or fishing kind of ditches and all that, how would you work a blade bait in a ditch situation? Probably specifically for spotted bass. I know you like to catch a lot of smallmouth up there and largemouth, but down here, you know, spotted bass rule.
Yeah, you'd fish it the same way. Especially it'll work well when they get tight on bottom. You know, if you're seeing them suspended up chasing bait, you know, you're probably better off with a little swim bait or a minnow. But when they get locked on the bottom, it works really well. And basically cast it out, let it fall to the bottom. I'll just hold my rod at like 10 o'clock and I just do like maybe a crank or two on the handle. I just want to feel that bait vibrate a little bit and then slam back down to the bottom. It's a reaction bite. I like them in like, you know, the silver gold colors. So you get a lot of flash when it comes up and then it just falls like a rock. And I don't really, now that I've been watching it with scope and stuff, you don't really see them chasing it. They're not following it a long ways. It's kind of one of them deals that they're, you know, they're glued to the bottom. It lifts up in front of them, just drops like a rock on their nose. And they just, it's a pure reaction bite is all it is. But Them winter fish, they'll get holed up really good and be in, real specific spots where you can do that. This isn't something you're going to want to like just fan cast all over the lake. But if they're like in the belly of a drain, that's a really good place to drag it through.
All right, perfect. Got another question. Maybe you might answer this. Drunkwood wants to know, is it true dudes who run Vexus have better stamina in the bedroom?
I don't know. I can't speak for all Vexus guys, but maybe.
How's your bedroom game, Seth?
I think it's pretty strong. It's decent.
You probably won't get asked that on another podcast.
No, I'm not ashamed of it. Yeah.
Right here in Fish North, Georgia. We want to know how your love life is right there. Stephen Sturgeon, what determines the size and weight of the jig you use for working around woody cover or stumps? And I had a guy on here, Ryan Sheffield, probably 3 months ago, and we were talking jig fishing. He's real popular around here for jigs and everything. And he made the comment, if you want to know how to throw jigs in nasty shit, just in the worst thing, go watch any Seth Feider video. And he said that on our show. So, I think this question kind of stems from that.
Okay. A lot of variables with that. Depth of cover and current are the, and then water temperature. If it's cold and it's super shallow, I'm like 2 foot or less. That's when I'll reach for jigs on the lighter end, that 3/16 to 3/8 stuff. And if there's current, I tend to fish a lighter. I know it makes no sense, but I tend to fish a lighter jig flipping in current than I would on a natural lake. I don't know why. It makes zero sense, but I have better luck with it. But like summertime, I would never fish anything under a half ounce. I'm more in that 5/8, 3/4 ounce, especially after the spawn. That prime pre-spawn time is most likely going to be a half ounce with unless they're super shallow. But the fish will get so shallow that flipping's really not even a good option anyway sometimes. I mean, if they're sub 1 foot flipping, it's hard to catch them flipping. And I'm not talking about what your depth finder says, you know what I mean? Because it'll say it's 0.6 feet and you jump out of the boat and it comes up to your thighs, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm talking about legit sub 1 foot. It's really hard to catch a fish flip, and there's just not enough water column to generate a reaction strike from your bait falling in front of them. You're more likely to spook the fish and, not get they're just not flipping fish when they get that shallow. You got to wind something or top water or something like that. But, 2 to 3 foot, I'm more likely to fish a lighter jig, especially in dirtier water. But clear water, deep water, summertime, even dirty water in the summer, I'm a big fan of 5/8 and 3/4 ounce jigs.
All right, well, help me out because, I even tie jigs, like that. I'm not very good at fishing them. I suck at fishing them. When I get over 3/8, like I go to a half or anything like that, I honestly feel like I'm just dragging mud. What am I doing wrong? What can I do to become more comfortable fishing a heavier weighted jig?
I'm not a big like jig caster. I'm pretty much like a pitcher flipper. So gotcha. I'm straight in, straight out, down to the bottom, shake it, hop it a few times, and then out of there. So I don't really get that feel of like dragging bottom. You know what I mean? Rarely do I like make long casts with a flipping jig. It's pretty much all cover orientated, putting in a lay down, putting it under a dock, putting in some grass, something like that. So it's a very vertical presentation for me for the most part.
Okay.
I've got a follow-up question to his jig with dock fishing then. So how do you approach a dock? If you're fishing a dock, because you see everybody's got a different way to how they approach it, from the back to the front, from the front to the back, from left to right. How do you approach a dock when you jig fish?
I just hit the damn pontoon boats and make everything ding.
Yeah, get that out of the way right away.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It depends on where you're at in the country. Up north here, a lot of our docks they're real short. They're like 20, 30 foot section with like a boat lift on it, and they're like one shot under the boat lift, one shot under the main. In off color water, I do tend to catch them off the walkways a little bit, but if it's a piered dock, or there's posts going to the bottom, I'll fish pretty much all the posts all the way around it.
Okay.
usually I tend to, if I'm working a row of docks, I'm going to, go all the way around the one, get up tight on the bank, start on the shore, work my way out and around the end of it. Floating docks are a lot different, though. I don't flip a lot of floating docks. That's more going to be glide bait, swim jig, chatter bait, just because the majority of your fish, unless there's brush under there, the majority of your fish are kind of in that 0 to 6 foot of water under floating docks, just because they're hanging on either under the floats or on the cross beams.
Right.
So everything's, and a lot of those will be over, 50, 60, 100 foot of water. Without brush, most of those fish are pretty more so relating to the floats and the cross beams and stuff like that. And you can catch them flipping on those type docks. I just do better winding something around them. But if it's a post dock, I'll just work my way around it. But there'll be a pattern to it, it's just something you got to pay attention to every day. Some days you get your bites on the end. Some days you get your bites by the bank. Some days are under the boats, under whatever. Usually there's some kind of pattern, maybe it be brush, something like that. Then I'll just kind of focus mostly on that once I've established something.
Okay. Perfect. Silver Punk wants to know, this is kind of a variable question because I guess it depends on where you're at, but what are your 5 confidence baits?
I probably got more than that, dude. I love to flip a jig. I love to flip a tube. I love to swim a jig, chatterbait, spinnerbait, buzzbait, frog. Getting into the glide bait stuff a little bit now. I've pretty much got them on every tournament. I like throwing topwater a lot, poppers and walking baits and stuff like that. But mostly power fishing stuff. I'd say deep down, I'm a flipper. Like, give me a jig and a tube, and I'm good with that. I like winding a flat side a lot early in the year too.
That's right.
In 2021, you kept it pretty simple. I mean, most of your baits, I mean, you had a hell of a year for your AOI year, and almost everything was pretty simple, it seemed like.
Yeah, I'm the same way with colors. Like, it's green pumpkin, black, blue, and white. Like, that's it. I mean, with the crankbaits, I'll get into the reds and oranges and stuff like that, but majority of the stuff I throw is on 3 colors, and that's it.
I love that comment because I tell everybody there is colors that catch fishermen, and then there's a few colors that catch fish, like that. Now, somebody told me something about, didn't you design a tube for Z-Man or something?
I did, yeah. Tiny tube. It's kind of a niche bait, but where it shines, it's super deadly. It's more kind of for the Great Lakes. I could see it working on your spotted bass. I haven't messed with it there, but yeah, like great lost foot of visibility, smallmouth, it's really deadly for.
Yeah, I had a shop and I had a guy walk in one day and he goes, "Hey, where's your tube section?" I'm like, "Hell, down here in the South, we don't throw tubes." Nobody talks about tubes down here in the South, but what you just said as far as it working for spotted bass, I think it would be pretty good.
Yeah, because you guys catch them good on like net heads and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just, I just don't think they can get a real good look at it. It's so tiny. It's basically a crappie tube, but in like colors that aren't like red and white and chartreuse and blue. Like we got it in green pumpkin and like stuff you would want to throw. But it's essentially a crappie tube, really.
I love it. Let me ask you, if you had one color for the rest of your life, whether you're fishing tournaments or fun fishing, whatever it is, what color would it be? As far as, let me do that. A top water color and a, down the water column color.
I mean, I guess I'd have to go maybe black on a top water and green pumpkin on a bait. But I'm more of like a buzz bait frog guy than I am a walking bait spook guy.
I love that because like we had Rob Jordan on one time and he said, we're talking about throwing frogs on Lanier, which nobody talks about. And he goes, I throw a black frog. And if that don't work, I throw a black frog. And if that don't work, I throw a black frog.
Yeah.
And a lot of our kayak guys that fish rivers, you got 2 colors. You're either throwing white or you're throwing black. And the fact that you said black is like, that's pretty cool. Now, Kendra Mueller, now she's from Michigan, so she's kind of like you. Yeah. What is the one and a fantastic angler? What is the one piece of advice you would give to someone who is moving from the boater side in bigger tournaments that you wish you would have known in the past? I'll be fishing the BFLs as a boater after 8 years as a co-angler?
I mean, for me, it would have been like fishing more, like hit more regions around the country. Because I kind of grew up just Minnesota, Wisconsin stuff. Then I go to, Carolinas and Texas and Florida. Everything's a little different. That's the biggest thing for me. But if she's staying in the same area and it's just going from the back of the boat to the front of the boat, it's finding fish is so much more important. I've seen a few guys that like do really good in the co-angler stuff, and then they get in the front of the boat and they don't catch them. And it's like they were just good at, throwing something a little different and hitting some spots the guy in front of him wasn't. And you can't do that being a boater. You gotta find fish, and that's the really the hardest part in the whole equation is finding some fish you can catch. More so, when you're going in the back and the guy missed this side of the laydown and you flip there and catch one, I mean, that's not really the same. You got to find your own little areas and stuff. So it's more focused on finding fish than trying to do something a little different or be a little finessier to get some bites out of the back of the boat.
Absolutely. Now I got a question here from a viewer who didn't put it on here. He goes, what is Seth's drink of choice?
I do coffee in the morning, then I'm Cokes all day, and then Miller High Life at night.
The champagne
in the bottle too. Yeah,
it has to be in the bottle.
Yeah,
because
it don't taste good out of a can. I don't know.
That's what I was getting ready to ask. I drink it out of a can, and I'm like, no,
it's not the same. Yeah,
got to be glass right there. Yeah. Eric Richards wants to know, do you think the field will have a different looking top 10 with the new forward-facing sonar rules? And, of course, half on, half off with that. What do you think about that whole situation? And does it, is there a lake that you're looking forward to that you can use with that you don't have it, as opposed to a lake that maybe you do get to use it?
I don't know if the top 10 will look any different, really. I think the same guys are going to catch them, but with the one I am looking forward to Champlain, probably the most not having it there, just because with it, that lake is just historically dominated by floating smallies. And without it, I think that bite's going to go away. Like literally 90% of the checks come off floating smallmouth. And without it, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the tournament folds out. At the same time, no one's going to be out in the middle chasing them smallies anymore. So everybody's going to be flipping every dock and every patch of milfoil on the lake and, playing around where I like to play. But so I don't know what it'll be like. I'll be interested to see what it's like after the tournament. But I think I got a really good shot there with it not being allowed in that event.
What is that damn thing they use up there that looks like a daggum traffic cone, Clint?
Flogger.
Yeah.
Flogger. Listen, do you use a flogger at all?
I have, yeah.
I mean, is it worth using? Because the first time I saw somebody using that, it was a picture, and I'm like, damn, he's got a traffic cone hanging off the side of the boat. What the hell is that all about?
Yeah, it is worth using. I mean, a lot of those fish you can catch off perspective pretty easy. But it kind of got popular long before that. And there's been a lot of tournaments won on it. And I mean, it just allows you to sight fish like twice as deep as you. I don't know if sight fishing's got to be pretty big on Lanier, I would think. You got a lot of guys that go out with like ladders and stuff. Do they do that there?
Not a whole lot on the ladders, but I mean,
okay.
This year we were catching them in like 15 foot, like actually sight fishing them still, like kind of like you would.
And that's just using sunglasses and standing on the deck.
Yeah.
Well, if you use a flogger, you could see them in 25. Same deal with the ladder. It's like, but you can't like go hunting with the flogger. You know what I mean? You got to know like the kind of stuff they're spawning on. Like up north for the smallies, guys you just side scan till you find like a big rock out in like 10, 12 foot of water. Then you get on top of it and drop the flogger on it. You can't just stick that thing over the boat and hit the trolling motor. Like,
be driving.
You can't hunt with it, but if you find something you think one's spawning around, you can check it with that. And
but it
just allows you to see a lot deeper.
But what a pain in the ass, because it's a big equipment.
Yeah, it does float though, so you can just drop it when you hook up.
I remember the first time I saw a guy with a flogger, I was looking at like, what in the hell? is he doing right there with that traffic cone hanging off the side of his boat and everything? So let's see. Let's see. No, here we go. Stephen Sturgeon. How do you know what hole to tie on the sonar? I don't know.
I think he's talking about a blade bait. I always go middle hole.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
The action does change a little bit going front hole and back hole, but I always go to the middle hole.
That sounds like marriage, don't it?
Yeah.
I was just leave that alone.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Well, unless you get her all sauced up, then you can get the back.
Well, I mean, look, the whole back hole is
dolphin.
Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble for my wife after this one right here. What forward-facing sonar do you run?
I got the MBT units, so they're running off Garmin.
Nice.
Garmin Live Scope.
And I got a question again off of this is not in the comment section. Rapala ice jigs for Lake Lanier, spotted bass. I don't know if you've used them here, but a lot of guys have. What do you think about using an ice jig to catch spots, especially in the wintertime?
Yeah, no, it's a really good bait. I haven't done it at Lanier, but I got a buddy that lives on Table Rock. We'll go there in the winter, and similar deal. I mean, you guys got cousas, don't you?
Yeah, in some of the lakes we got cousas, don't we?
Yeah, I think they're just Kentuckies and Table Rock, but whatever, same deal. Ice jig works really good on them. Floaters out over them deep drains.
What would your setup be for one of those?
Basic 7-foot medium spinning rod, light braid. I run my leaders kind of heavy, but like a 12-pound fluorolator.
That's kind of interesting. We had Easton Fothergill on here last week, and he was talking about when he was fishing out in Texas on the Classic. He said he had an 8-pound braid, right, Clint and Tony?
17, yeah.
17-pound fluorolator.
Yeah.
On that. So we were talking before you came on. What knot do you use going from braid to fluoro? And Clint told me, he goes, FG sometimes, Alberto sometimes. Which one is the one you use most often?
I find myself going back more to maybe it's Alberto. I think it was modified, whatever, same deal, same knot. I do tie an FG a lot, but I find myself going back to the other one a lot more. It's not as strong, but it'll get you by through most stuff, and it's so much quicker and easier to tie than an FG.
Yeah, don't talk to you while you're tying an FG knot. Right? Like it takes forever.
Like if I'm flipping, I gotta tie an FG. But for spinning around stuff, you're just never pulling on them that hard.
So do you still use a lot of braid to leader when you're flipping, right?
Yeah, pretty much exclusively. Unless I'm punching, then I'll go straight braid.
What's your setup look like for that? Like what kind of braid and leader do you like?
30-pound braid, suffix braid. Usually 20 on my leader, FG knot, like a 7-foot medium heavy, and good to go.
All right, so I got a question that is off of the comments. This was given to me earlier. If you move south and you gave up your snowblower and all that shit you had to use up there and all that, if you moved south, what lake would you move near? What area of the South would you like to live in?
I really like Lake Fork. I really like Gunnersville. Florida would be all right. And then there's some cool stuff in South Carolina too. Like around Santee, Cooper, and Murray. I'd say Lake Fork's probably my favorite. I'd probably go there.
He didn't say Georgia.
Yeah, there's a lot of largemouth holes.
He didn't say Georgia. He meant largemouth.
I've been to 2 lakes. I like both of them. I fished at Lake Chatuge and Lanier, and that's all I've seen. I really like Chatuge. That was a really cool lake.
It's one of the more beautiful lakes than we have. But Lanier is the engine that runs the ship around here. But Chatuge,
I get it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Chatuge's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. Jeremiah Giles, can you talk about your hair jig technique for smallmouth? Would you fish it any different in a river versus a lake?
Yes, I would. That little hair jig deal for smallmouth, it's kind of like think of it kind of like a little 2.8 Kitech on a ball head. It's just kind of a super slow rolling, not doing anything to it. You're not twitching or jerking or doing anything weird, just slow, steady. So in a lake, it's just straight cast and retrieve. If I was fishing a river, I'd probably maybe like 45 it upstream and kind of drift it through some of them areas, or kind of swing it through there like you would fly fishing. So I would change my technique a little bit with that, but you got to have clear water for it. So I may not say there ain't clear rivers, but you're not going to like Mississippi River mud and doing it. You need to be able to. You need at least 4 or 5 foot of visibility for that to become an effective option.
Okay, perfect. Tony, you got anything?
No, go ahead. I'm reading through comments.
I am too. So I got a question here about Black Sheep.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about Black Sheep?
Yeah, it's a company me and a few of my buddies started up. Kind of just out of necessity, just didn't really have the stuff we wanted to fish with. So we're going to make, what we think is, it's going to be high end stuff. It's not going to be cheap, but it's all going to be super premium stuff and perfect in our eyes. We kind of got a handful of guys that got different specialties all over the country, and they're going to make a couple jigs and that fit their little needs where they're at. And just everything's going to be like really well thought out and just top end kind of, I don't know, super high end jigs.
Yeah, I like that. So I had a couple things here off of that. Where can someone find Black Sheep jigs? And also too, while we're at it, any of your social media platforms that they can follow you on?
Yeah, I'm mostly on Instagram, but I got Facebook and TikTok and Twitter or X or whatever. I got all that stuff. It's Seth Feider Fishing on all of them. And then the Black Sheep jigs is Black Sheep Custom Jigs on Instagram and on the website as well. But we don't, I'm hoping we're shooting for having product ready for March.
Okay. All right, perfect. Also too, you're part owner of Omnia, correct?
Yeah.
So the cool thing about your website is that I kind of looked on it, and a buddy of mine looked on it. He kind of threw me into this. A lot of guys all across the country can kind of tell what they were fishing on a certain lake. And Hollis Q Latham is one of the lakes on your website. Okay. That is actually like I can walk out my front door and in 1 minute I'm at the boat ramp of Latham. It's a small electric only reservoir.
Yeah.
So not only do you sell online, but you kind of give fishing tips and stuff about certain lakes. So tell everybody that's watching a little bit about Omnia and maybe that part of the website.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff built in there for I'd say like more novice guys getting into the sport. Me, guys like us, we know what we want. We're gonna go right to whatever page and get that exact bait. But it's a good place for somebody that's just getting into fishing. Say they live next to whatever that lake you just said. They can look on there. There'll be like a couple fishing reports and guys recommend baits like, oh, you need, a chrome spook or a fluke or whatever it may be. And then there's a lot of suggested stuff on there for seasonal and for certain lakes. So someone that's really not familiar with fishing, they can go on there and be like, okay, get a bag of flukes and a chrome top water, and then go out and fish your lake with they're not going to go out there with a black and blue jig or something, you know what I mean, or a red crankbait in August.
See, that's what I love, because the whole purpose of our podcast, we get to talk to great guys like you and everything, but at the end of the day, we want the average guy to catch more fish. And so if they can utilize the Omnia website to do that, that's a fantastic thing.
Yeah, it's a good place, good resource to learn for the novice guys, and that way you're not buying a bunch of stuff you don't need. I think we've all been guilty about that, getting into fishing. You buy a bunch of stupid stuff, and then looking back 5 years later, you're looking in your tackle box and you're like, where the hell did I buy this thing? Like,
absolutely. Well, okay, on that point right there, what is the one thing you bought that down the line you turned around and looked back at and you were like, damn, dude, I should have never bought that. That is
I got so much stuff, a lot of like swim baits and stuff. And the worst part is like I'll buy like some baits I think are really cool, and then like I'll go nuts on them before I ever throw them. Like get a couple of this color, couple of that color, couple of that color, couple of that color, and then I'll use it, and then it just don't end up catching anything on it, and you just got a big box full of them. And yeah.
I love that. Let's see, Ralph Young, Seth, what are your thoughts on the DQs this year due to the polys? Looks like Bass is cleaning up on the information sharing. Do you think it's too strict or needed to clean up some things as far as cheating goes?
I think there was some stuff they needed to clean up. I unfortunately, I think a lot of, mostly innocent guys got caught up in that deal. With the way the stuff works, I think if you have like, I don't know anything really about polygraphs, how they actually work, but it seems like any form of like a little bit of guilt on your conscience will cause you to fail it. And the problem is the guys that are doing the stuff, they don't feel bad about what they're doing. So I don't think they're getting caught. And the guys that are feeling guilty about some stupid conversation they had at a gas station about some guy telling them to go throw a white and chartreuse spinnerbait or something, like those are the guys getting in trouble. So hopefully they get the deal figured out. I think it's gotten a little too far, but now I think it's enough where it'll cut down on all the BS that was going on. Like, I don't think anybody's going to be pulling anything after what happened this year with so many DQs.
Absolutely. Like Clinton and Tony can tell you, I'm like, I think it should just be, you guys get all the information you want. I don't give two shits about it. Go fish your fish, like that. But I get the rules. Clinton, what do you think about that?
I mean, I feel like at that point, if you open it Wild West, it's like a pay-to-play thing where you got some guys buying as many dots and guide trips as you can. But I think somewhere, I mean, I kind of like what the NPFL did with the 30 days kind of deal. But then even with that, then you still have guys paying to play in the off season and things like that. So, I mean, I don't know. It's like you can't keep everybody honest. You don't know who all is doing it right. I think Rick Klund said it. He's like, I don't care how good of a competitive advantage they have or whatever info they have. You just have to beat them and be better. So it's like at the end of the day, if you can show up and be honest and catch your bass and know that you did it the right way, then great. But the unfortunate part is with the polygraphs and things, sometimes a good guy gets popped for no reason, and that sucks. Like, it sucks because in his mind, he knows he did nothing wrong, and then still getting in trouble sucks. So, I mean,
I get well, Seth, like, I could get all the information in the world. I'm going to suck. That's the way it is, like that.
Tony will ruin it sometimes.
Yeah. What do you think about it, Tony? Because, we are not at Seth's level. Of course.
Right.
We fish in tournaments a little bit. But when you look at someone like Seth, that level, and you see all the kind of BS that's going on, what do you think about it?
I think the problem, and from somebody that has taken multiple polygraphs when I was in law enforcement or getting into law enforcement years ago, we got a stigma that goes with a polygraph that says if you fail, you're a liar. And that's not exactly true with a polygraph. I can take a polygraph and fail it and pass it in the same day. I've done it with the same exact questions. Depends on the how you're made to feel while you're taking the test. I mean, that's the best way I can say it, because you can talk yourself into thinking about questions and actually fail the test and then not think about it and pass. So my thought is this: if we're going to do information rule, there's got to be a limit to what is considered, bad information, I guess. Like Seth said, a guy saying, hey man, I caught him on a white spinnerbait. That's not getting a competitive advantage. I mean, and then we go back to the whole, well, did you intend to use it? And that's where you start getting to that gray area, and the polygraph shows deception. So I'm almost on a sense of saying, hey, we don't need an information rule to a certain extent. But then, like Clint says, when you got the guys that will pay for guide trips and unlimited waypoints, and they'll send 50 of their buddies out to go fish because they got a chance of making a paycheck, I'm torn on that as well. But I think my biggest thing with this year is the stigma that gets associated with failing a polygraph. It just shows deception. It doesn't mean they're a cheater or a liar. It just means that maybe there was something there they need to research further. And I think personally, that's where the system fails, is there's not enough research on that level of it to figure out what's actually going on.
That's good. Seth, how many polygraphs have you actually had to take with the Bassmaster Elites?
I took one this year at Lake Fork, and then I think I only took one before that. That was at I think it was at the Classic in Knoxville the first time we went.
Yeah, so kind of. I mean, how did you feel when they said, "Hey, listen, we need you to come in, take a polygraph"? Did it kind of just bother you personally, or you're like, "Hell with it. I know I didn't cheat. Let's go here. Let's just answer the questions."
I was fine with it. I still get nervous. I don't know why, but just getting in that chair and they tying all that stuff around you, and then I'm just like kind of like a fidgety person to begin with, and like I was moving too much, and he kept yelling at me, but
I
got
get
it figured out.
I totally get it.
Just because I he asked me a question, I'd like want to like move and talk, and then that was just messing the machine up. So
yep,
I would fail every polygraph I would ever take, 100%. Papa Pond Hopper, do you like throwing a plopper? Please God, don't say you like throwing one of those son of a bitches, or a buzz bait. I personally like the buzz bait, but I see people have a lot of success with the plopper too. And I'm gonna tell you, Seth, right? I hate a freaking whopper, plopper, chopo because I've lost so many fish.
Yeah,
I can't keep it hooked up. Buzz bait, no problem.
Yeah, I prefer a buzz bait. Just same deal, hookup landing percentage. There are times, you need fairly calm water for a buzz bait. In a plopper style bait, you can throw in actually some pretty good chop. Typically, I just try to get away from that if I was topwater fishing. But I mean, if that's where you want to fish, if the waves are bigger, a plopper is a good bait. I just have so many of them like hit it and knock it in the air and not get it. And, 9 times out of 10, I'll catch them on a buzz bait. So, but you gotta, you need fairly calm conditions for a buzz bait. Either slick calm to a slight ripple, and you get anything past that, a plopper's a better bait.
Okay, let me ask you, when you throw a buzz bait, do you use a trailer and do you use a trailer hook?
No trailer hook, no skirt, and then just a toad on the back.
A toad. You'd rather throw the toad than the skirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like it's like when I grew up, we always just fished them with a skirt, and then like a trailer hook was mandatory. You know what I mean? Cool. And then when I went to a toad, I feel like I don't need a trailer hook anymore. I just think that they suck the bait in so much better. Like a skirted bait with no trailer on it, there's no mass for them to suck in. You know what I mean? And then when you put that toad on there, when they open their mouth, that thing's going back there.
I like that. Okay, so Tyler Shellnut wants to know, have you ever fished with a Koki or any of the daggum dice baits, anything like that?
Oh yeah, I've tried about everything.
Listen, is it overrated?
It's got a time and a place.
Well, when?
Like funky post spawn, early summer.
I know a lot of guys down here. We get in the finesse game down here in the South.
Yeah,
a lot of guys throw them, but there's a lot of guys that are like, that's the most gimmicky, whatever you want to say, bait out there. Yeah. If you had the choice between throwing, one of the dice baits like that or bait X, what would bait X be?
I mean, if you're talking about scoping, it'd be a minnow, but I tend to do better on the minnow when it's cold. Mm-hmm. Spring, fall, winter. I think those dice baits are more summer baits.
Be honest with me. Do you really think they're worth what they, a lot of people say they are?
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, really? Yeah. When you throw a dice bait, how would you throw it?
There's a bunch that you can nail weight them, fish them like super light, or drop shot them, one of the two.
Clint, tell me, do you guys throw a dice bait at all?
Never thrown one.
Yeah, I know you have, because you're down on Weedawee in Alabama and all that. You don't throw that stuff right there.
Spotted bass. I mean, I can go after them, but I just don't. I haven't picked them up yet.
Yeah, I get it, Clint.
Yeah, I've got a couple rigged up right now. I'm ready to.
Really?
The thing is I've only caught them on a drop shot, and I really want to catch them on it like Nico rigged with a nail weight, and I still have yet to do that.
All right, Seth, let me ask you this: has a bait come out from any company whatsoever? You don't have to name the company that you just looked at and went, "That's a bunch of crap." You know what I'm saying?
Most of the stuff out of Japan. Like I buy a lot of that Japanese stuff, and I don't know, maybe 1 out of 20 are good.
Yeah,
I feel like
they're innovative. You know, they're just trying to make stuff the fish has never seen before, not necessarily like we always try to make something like work better, or like we design it for a specific reason. And I think they just make something that the fish has never seen, and they just throw it out there, like figure it out. It might be a Nico bait, or you might jerk it, you might fish it on top, you might fish it on the bottom. They don't even think they know when they're making them. But you know, a lot of cool stuff's coming out of there, and especially with like scoping these days, like a lot of good baits are gonna come out of Japan the next 10 years, just stuff they haven't seen, you know. They might only work for 2-3 years and they'll be garbage. But
do you think our fisheries are going to start acting like Japan's, where it's like not a lot of big fish and fish are super pressured?
I wouldn't say that. Japan's got big fish. We'll always have big fish, but yeah, like getting bites is gonna become, you're gonna catch less and less fish every year.
Yeah, well, Japan's got like what, 3 or 4 major lakes? That's it.
I think they got like a dozen or so, but like Biwa is kind of the main one. But there's a lot of big fish in there.
I got you. Let's see here. Jeff Brazil, you mentioned this earlier. Do you have a favorite glide bait? You talked about getting into the glide baits a little bit more. What's your favorite?
Yeah, I do. The flag has been my favorite one. Like I don't even think I'll throw a hard bait anymore, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I know they catch fish, but what I've seen with like soft baits is just seems so much better. I feel like I just look at fish with hard baits and I catch them on soft baits.
Okay, perfect. Here's a question off the comment section. Zona took you to Kong Island for smallies. When is the last time you've been to Kong Island? And kind of tell the guys that may not have, they don't know what in the hell Kong Island is.
Yeah, that was the last time I've ever been to Kong Island.
Yeah, talk a
one and only time.
What was so special about Kong Island?
It's just covered up in big smallmouth. The funny part is we fish tournament there about every year, and I never go back. So that's just how I am, though. You know.
All right, Seth. What is the best dart? Coleman Jones. I don't know what in the hell that is.
I don't know what he's talking about, but I'll give him a couple of answers. My preferred brand is Marblites, but best darts probably you know, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 beers deep dart. That's probably the best one.
Okay. I didn't know that's what the hell it was about when I saw it.
In the morning's all right, but with a big cup of coffee. But yeah, them midnight sitting around a campfire, pile of dead beers laying around you, dart's pretty good too.
Okay, if you weren't drinking the champagne of beers around a campfire, what would be your next drink of choice? Mine's
as far as non-beer.
Non-beer. I'm a bourbon guy.
Yeah, I stay away from the hard liquor. Gets me in trouble.
Why, you scared?
No, I just do really stupid stuff when I drink hard liquor. I can kind of pace myself on beer and the hard stuff. It gets away from me.
I understand that too, which leads me into this question. Somebody wrote, where is it? What is the craziest thing you've ever seen Robertson do? Because you and him are good friends.
Yeah. Oh man, so many. Every day is a new adventure with him. He's a special individual.
He is. So guys, just to be transparent, when I saw Seth down at ICAST, we were at the line cutter party and we were outside and everything. And I went up to Seth and I said, listen, I want you to be on the Fish North Georgia podcast. What can I do to get you on? And I said, listen, I'll make my wife show you her boobs. And Seth was going, oh, hell yeah, you know, whatever. And Robertson come up at some point, and I said, hey, listen, I'll get Tony's wife to show you her boobs. That's 4 boobs. And Robertson went, well, hell yeah, 4 boobs and all that kind of stuff. I know we were joking, we were having a good time, but, you know, a lot of people, they don't have the relationship with Robertson that you do. They see him for his personality. What you see, is that really what you get when it comes to him?
Yeah, he's that's him. He's not hiding much.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Aaron Young, how much color do you need in the water to flip?
None. I've got them gin clear. I will say this: if the water's super clear, they usually got to be in some cover. Like I said, either under a dock or usually if I'm flipping and it's really clear, it's a grass lake. So I'm flipping heavy vegetation. But you can catch them in. I mean, there's plenty of times I've been fishing places you can see the bottom in 10 feet of water and catch them flipping in vegetation. Now, if you're just talking about like light laydowns and stuff like that, I'd like to see, less than 2 foot of visibility before I get real excited. But I mean, as long as you got the cover, the water clarity isn't the issue.
Gotcha.
Clint. So if I was fishing like a real clear place and I want to go throw a jig on some laydowns and stuff, like, are you throwing straight? Are you still doing your braid to leader even on clear lakes like Lanier and
braid to a leader? I'd go green pumpkin and go heavier than you think. And I'll compact my jig up a little bit too, trim the skirt real tight to the hook, go to a smaller trailer. But I would, that's unless it's cold. Like if the fish have already spawned, it's going to be a 3/4 ounce compact jig for me.
And then in the fall, are you still going like a heavier jig, like a 1/2 or a 3/4?
Yeah, if the water's clear, yep.
All right, so Tony, today on the lunch break, we were talking about kind of trimming up skirts and things with weed guards and all that. Seth, so when you're throwing a jig, do you do any modifications? Do you trim the skirt short? And if you do, when do you do that? Do you ever trim a weed guard, anything like that?
Yeah, the skirt, that basically goes, I'm mostly trimming that to match my trailer. Like if I'm threading like a cross style trailer on there, I'll trim the skirt a lot shorter. If I'm, kind of, I guess essentially nose hooking like a chunk on there, I'll leave my skirt longer just to kind of fill that profile out because that trailer hangs so much further off the back of the jig. And then as far as trimming the weed guard goes, really all that does is change. I don't mind having a long weed guard at all. When the shorter you make it, the stiffer it's going to be. I see a lot of guys like trim them real close to the tip of the hook. I don't really care for that. It's more like the angle that it lays on the hook. I want it like right on the tip. Those jigs that you get, that's the problem. Most of the jigs you get out of the package, they got a gap like that between the weed guard and the point. Then you come over a piece of wood, your jig rolls on its side, you hook the wood. You want that guard laying on the point of that hook, so there's no way a stick or anything can get in there when you're fishing around wood. Then as far as trimming the length on it, you're just making it stiffer the shorter you go, which sometimes you want to do, but I don't mind it hanging well beyond the point of the hook.
Do you prefer like a heavy or medium weed guard on your jigs?
It depends on the cover I'm fishing. I go heavier around wood, brush, things like that, and I actually go lighter in grass.
Okay. Do you ever flare? We were talking about this. I do a podcast at lunch with some of the locals, and a lot of guys were talking about flaring, spreading out their weed guard. When would you do that, if you even do that at all?
Around wood, same deal.
Okay.
And then grass, I wouldn't. I kind of keep it as streamlined as possible.
Okay, perfect. Derek wants to know, Seth, the last time I saw you on a podcast, Easton was coming to fish with you and wanted to go frogging. How did it go?
It was fun. They weren't on a frog. We ended up catching them all punching, but it was a good time.
Okay.
Yeah, got a big punching.
Here's some more highbrow questions from our audience. Okay. American Spirit, Marlboro Camel.
Okay. I never really got into the American Spirit. That's kind of a hippie cigarette, I'd call it.
Yeah.
I used to smoke Camels. I will say this, dude. I used to smoke Camel Lights, and I went to Marlboro Lights, and I like immediately felt 10 years younger, for whatever that's worth.
Camels are stout.
Yeah. Listen, the Camels will run a guy down. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I smoked for like 2 months in my entire life. I'm a dipper. I like my Copenhagen, but I went Camel, and I believe it was no filter, whatever the hell those were called, and all that.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever got into like the cool menthol Kings and all that? That's what my dad smoked.
I've tried some menthols. That's usually like I'm out of cigarettes and I'm bumming one, and somebody hands you one, and like whatever, I'll smoke it. But
I
don't buy them, but I've smoked some menthols. They're all right, just not for me.
In those situations, you take what you can get. That's the same way. If you dip, the guys are like Lone Wolf or that cheap shit. If I'm out of it, all right. If that's all you got, whatever, we'll do that. War Eagle, the best. Daiwa Pro Kyoe Futa. I can't pronounce.
Fujita.
Damn, I can't pronounce his name to save my life. Uses high-end Daiwa tackle and finishes in the top 10 AOI every year. If you use top-notch Exist/JDM Steez Daiwa stuff, would it improve your tournament results?
I don't think so. No. I mean, it's nice to fish with, but I don't think I'm going to catch more fish because of it. Okay. It just feels a little nicer in your hands is all.
It does. It does. Clayton wants to know, Seth, are you available on December 6th? I need a co-angler. We got a Toys for Tots tournament on Lake Lanier. Dude, I know.
Absolutely not. That is the second to last day of our duck season, and I will 1,000% be duck hunting that day.
Well, shit, because that way I can't get him to come down here and fish with me. That's our Toys for Tots tournament. Have you ever fished out of a kayak? And I mean, for fun, of course, John G. Wilson.
I got into a two-person kayak one time with Matt Robertson on Way Lake, and we made it about 10 feet from the dock and rolled it over. So no plan on fishing out of a kayak. Just not cut out for it.
I understand. A lot of us are not. Let's see. Okay, they call me Collins. High life kind of guy. I had you pegged as a whiskey drinker.
I've had a few whiskeys, but yeah, no, I stick to the beer.
Well, if you had to pick one whiskey to drink, like if I were going to come up to Minnesota and you and I were going to hang out and I was going to bring a present.
Yeah, I don't even know them all like that. Like they all taste the same to me.
I get it.
They all taste like rubbing alcohol. Like my dad's into whiskeys. He's got like super fancy stuff, and he had this bottle he's been saving forever. And on my one AOI, he pours us all up a little shot of it. I take it. But I don't know. You could have handed it. You could have poured like some plastic flask Phillips whiskey in there, and I wouldn't have known the difference. But he was all jacked up about it.
I get it. Now, a serious question, because we got to get serious for some of the anglers around here. Getting back to jigs, what's your favorite rod for flipping?
Just a basic ass 7-foot medium heavy. Everybody's got one.
I like it.
And with the braid dual leader, that's all you need. If I was a straight fluoro guy, I'd probably be more in that like 7.6 heavy, 7.3 to 7.6 heavy. But with the braid dual leader, 7-foot medium heavy is all you need.
I like
do you use leader material, or do you use just regular casting?
Just regular old fluorocarbon. Yeah.
What kind do you like?
This is Suffix. Yeah, 20 pound.
All right, Jerry Catula. What is your approach to breaking down a herring lake? And listen, look, we're in North Georgia. Hell, that's all we got is herring lakes.
Yeah.
So if you go to Lanier tomorrow, how would you break it down?
Yeah. I mean, Lanier, I got like zero experience on. I fish Murray quite a bit now. We've been there about like 3 times since I go there. Probably a pretty similar deal. But most times we've been there, there's been spawning fish. So I've spent a majority of my time looking for spawners. But I mean, it's just essentially running points, man. Shelf, flat clay points. Looking on some deeper ones and stuff. And you kind of got to fish them all because a lot of the best ones don't. I mean, a lot of them do look good, the community ones, but it seems like the ones I do best on don't really. They're not like the big obvious point that everyone's fishing. It's kind of a little nondescript point that, almost just a little flat spot coming out off the bank are the ones I've done the best on, just because there's not near as many fish on them, but they're more catchable just because they're not getting hit by every boat running across the lake. But it's your tweaky little niche baits, and then a fluke and a top water and just running and gunning points. But I've always been there kind of around the herring spawn, so I don't know what that's like the rest of the year, to be honest with you.
It's kind of different. Like I fished Gunner. How many times have you fished Gunnersville?
Don't tell me anything about Gunnersville. We got a derby.
Oh, that's right. We got to talk about.
We can talk about Lake Lanier all you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you had your choice between a grass lake, such as the lake we mentioned, or a highland reservoir with, rocky points, timber deep, which would you rather prefer?
Grass lake. That's just my bread and butter. That's why I grew up fishing. Like, I love weeds.
I can't stand friggin' grass lakes. I went to that lake that we can't talk about, and I would have sold my mother for a rocky point. There was so much.
Yeah. Well, it's needle in a haystack fishing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those like reservoirs like that, you're just running and gunning every point you see on the map. Where you get in a grass lake, you're just settling down in a giant area of grass and picking it apart, looking for that one little sweet spot. But the difference is you find a good point on a rocky reservoir, you and 30 other boats are going to fish it. You find a little hole in the grass where they're at, they're yours, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if I'm boat 400. It doesn't matter, dude. They're mine. Like,
that's
no
right.
one else found them because it's one cast right there. They're all in a little 20-foot circle. No one else found them. They're mine. I own them.
And I appreciate you saying that, because Clint and Tony will tell you that I'm oblivious to your no info rules and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, no, most people are. I wouldn't be thinking about it if I wasn't in the position I am either,
Yeah, I suck at that.
So I've got a question for grass lakes. So I asked this on another podcast, one of our other episodes. So I don't fish grass lakes a ton. So if I'm going to a grass lake, how am I going to start to find those fish on a grass lake? I mean, I know you said you go find a spot and just start picking it apart. Are you looking for certain things?
Grass.
No, I mean, like, are you looking for anything?
No, like, it's literally as dumb as that. But I mean,
really?
the problem is the good stuff you can't really see it with. I mean, if there are some times where you can side scan some stuff, but for the most part, like, you're just not going to be able to see what the key part that they're holding on, because it's something on the bottom. It's some gravel, a little hard spot, a little depth change, something like that. It's all going to look the same from where you're sitting, though. You drive over it with side scan, it's just going to be grass everywhere. You look at it with your eyes, it's just grass everywhere. Really, the key is the mindset. Like, you need to be okay with going, everybody wants to catch fish is the problem. They want to run to this bridge or this dock or this point. Oh, I caught a 2-pounder. Cool. You know what I mean? When you go to a grass lake, just like, it's okay if you don't get a bite in 6 hours. You know what I mean? Like, you just need to, that's my mindset, dude. I'm going to find a spot a day, maybe 2. But like I said, they're going to be there. They're going to reload, and they're mine. Like, I'm not sharing them. This isn't a bridge piling. This isn't something obvious you run it. This isn't a marina. This is a little tiny spot. That's another thing. You want to fish real thorough, because the spots are very small in grass when you're fishing. They can be the size of your boat for the most part. So you got to really thoroughly fish, and then just be okay with going 6 hours without a bite.
That for smallmouth.
Never did. No. I did fish with leeches for walleyes and stuff, but no, live bait and bass is it seems okay in Florida apparently, but I don't know. For me, it's pretty taboo.
Yeah, taboo. If you weren't fishing for bass, what's your favorite type of fishing to do outside of bass fishing?
Pretty much just bass fish. I don't really ever target anything else. I will say this, like, if I don't know, if I was a saltwater guy, that'd be different. But around my house, I guess if I wasn't a bass fisherman, I'd honestly probably be a trout fisherman.
Okay. You like to fly fish?
Not really, but I just like where they live in the clear water and reading current and stuff like that. Like, nothing else really intrigues me.
Do you ever knock the sides off of them?
Oh yeah.
Like bass too?
No, eating bass up here is pretty taboo too. I shouldn't say taboo. They're just considered.
Yeah, it's like
it'd be like eating a carp. You know what I mean?
Eating a carp, bass.
Yeah, up here in Minnesota, that is the exact equivalent. Like,
I get
the exact same look if you were filleting a carp, if you were filleting a bass up here.
No shit.
I filmed an episode of Meat Eater up on it was Red Lake, Minnesota, and they were knocking the sides off a carp for that episode, and I was like, "This is disgusting."
All right, tell everybody that has no freaking idea of what knocking the sides off of them means.
Fillet and a fish.
Fillet and a fish. That's it.
Yeah, knocking the sides off of them.
Do you eat, Seth? Do you eat fish of any kind?
Yeah, I'll eat walleyes, crappies, bluegills. Sorry, crappies. Then we eat some pike too.
Okay, fair enough, right there. Ian Freeman, what brand leader do you for the bait caster setup? Mainline stuff or dedicated leader material?
Yeah, we hit that already, but yeah, I'm throwing Suffix 832 braid, Suffix 20-pound floral leader.
All right, and Silverpunk wants to know, do you use a different jig for different types of cover? Laydowns, docks, grass?
I do not. I do it all with that 7-foot medium heavy, and I swim a jig on the same rod.
I love that. And then here's a question.
I don't do a leader on the swim jig, though. That's straight braid.
Straight braid. Okay.
On the swim jig, yep.
All right. So here's a question that got thrown to me from a viewer. What is the Lucky Fighter Rock, and how did it get started?
That's my dad. He's like collects rocks and polishes them and stuff like that. And he gave me a lucky one, and it worked for me, and now he gives them to all my buddies.
Yeah. Do you have any kind of
rocks?
Yeah.
Like kind of rituals, or I don't know what's the term I'm looking for, guys?
Superstitions.
Like, superstitions. Yeah.
Like you wear the same. Like if you have a kick-ass day one, do you turn around on day two, wear the same underwear, eat the
same everything, same pants, same underwear, same undershirt, same jersey? I'll change my socks.
Why do you change your socks?
Like the same kind of socks.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, the underwear stuff's gross enough, but I don't know. I can't wear socks 2 days in a row. They're all crusty in the morning. I don't want to put them on.
I absolutely get it. Do you have like really any like true superstitions?
Yeah, I got little trinkets. I got a little prayer I say every night, and I shave every night.
Let's do this. Let's say you have an absolute shit day. Okay, and you go back to your place wherever you're staying. Is there something that you do to kind of change the trajectory of your tournament?
No, I just trust the process and just do it all over again.
Okay, because somebody sent me a message, and I don't have it written down. Something about like you have spirit animals.
Well, I mean, kind of. I got some animals I like.
Yeah, well, what are those? Because I found that really interesting. I didn't write it down, but somebody.
I'd say like killer whales, probably my favorite one.
That's it. What is it about killer whales that's
the baddest thing that's ever swam in the water, hands down?
I agree with that. And how does that help you fish?
It doesn't, but like if I was a fish, that's what I'd want to be.
A killer whale.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I agree with that shit. I think I might go great white, but killer whale
beat the brakes off a great white.
Okay, listen, 100% I agree with it. So, like, if you could be a fish of any sort whatsoever, Seth Feider would be a killer whale.
Yeah.
What is it about a killer whale that just absolutely?
It's the baddest thing that's ever. Like, I love those documentaries. I watch them all the time. Like, they're cool as hell.
Hell yeah, I agree with that.
Like, they had one, like, I think it was like off the coast of Alaska or something like that. A great white shark came by, a little pod of killer whales. They attacked it, and that great white shark swam like 3,000 feet down to the bottom and straight to Hawaii. Never came back. Yeah.
So I saw something about, and I don't know why in the hell we're going to talk about this now, but where killer whales will attack a great white or a mako or something like that, and they will just beat the shit out of it, and they eat the liver for some reason.
Oh, yeah, I have seen that, yeah.
I mean, I'm like, of all the things you could eat, the liver of a great white. Tony and Clint, have you ever just decided to eat the liver of a great white?
Can't say
I'd like to get away from those things as best I can.
You guys are over there like, where the hell's Danny going? Tito's, Tito's is kicking in, and Danny's asking about the great white liver and all that.
Maybe we need to be eating that.
You know what?
Probably do.
So the question was about, like, you talked about spirit animals. And I know if you go read your Bassmaster profile right now, there is a little thing about spirit animals on there. So for those watching, kind of, tell us a little bit more about what you think about spirit animals.
Just ones you see, like kind of like seeing a bald eagle, when you're out fishing.
Yeah.
You just feel kind of
connected.
Yeah.
Agree. You don't believe in Bigfoot, do you? Do you have Bigfoot in Minnesota?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you believe in Bigfoot? You believe in Bigfoot?
Oh yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. Dude, the tamarack swamps in northern Minnesota they live there.
Do you really? I mean, I'm
being
serious.
No doubt. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so what is the strangest thing you've ever either believed in or seen in fishing?
I guess Bigfoot. I don't know. I saw Lake Champlain has a version of the Loch Ness Monster that lives there. I actually laid eyes on that thing.
Champy?
Yeah. The Champ.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You have to tell us about that.
It was just an ambitious boat ride coming back from Ticonderoga and like 10 footers. Thinking I thought I was gonna die. This was in the open, so I wasn't real seasoned at that point. Worst boat ride of my life, but yeah, I was just going by and kind of like going the same speed as the wind, so it gets kind of eerie when you're doing that. Only going, I'm like 15 mile an hour, just nose up, just in the middle. You can't see anything, dude. Just waves all up around you, going up and down, and it gets kind of eerie because it's like surprisingly quiet when you're out there in that. I don't know, you feel like you're gonna die, and just off in the distance, I see an old Champ just kind of porpoise a little bit out in them giant waves off to the side. And I just thought that was like, I thought I was gonna die. I thought that was just kind of the Grim Reaper coming out of the ocean. Wow. And we ended up making it, obviously, but yeah, it was scary and memorable.
Wow.
I love that guys talking about a boat ride. I might die, I might not. What the hell? We're gonna send it.
Well, it was calm when I went down there, and then it started blowing before I came back, and it was not fun. We're roughest lake in the country, hands down.
Yeah, I know we talk a lot about how you catch fish, how to do things like that, but it's those little stories right there that I'm like, that's the cool stuff nobody ever talks about. You get on podcasts, how do you catch fish, Seth? Like that. But I want to know, hell yeah, I was scared like that. Several points. Do you use a different jig? We got to get back to the serious fishing questions.
He already asked that one, Danny.
Did he? Well, hell, the Tito's is kicking in.
I've got a question down the thing a little bit from Patricia Leanne Shaw. Would you ever consider fishing the NPFL?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I was planning on doing it last year, and I was planning on doing it this year, but the only problem I got is I like killing turkeys more than I like shooting ducks, and like with all the tournament circuits, it's like there's like if I did both, I would just never shoot a turkey ever again. I got you. Because any week we're not fishing in the spring, they're fishing, so I need a circuit that runs like June through October or something, and I'll sign up for every one of those.
I'll put a call in to Brad Fuller tomorrow and say, listen, you need to adjust your schedule for,
or just let me miss one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah. I get
Let's just do a 4 out of 5 for points for the championship.
I get it.
Drop your lowest. That'd be a cool tournament.
Let me miss one.
I'll call Fuller tomorrow and say, listen, Seth Feider said this. Let's do it. Let's make it work. Do you tie your own hair jigs that you fish with?
I do, yes. Yeah.
So we have
so particular on them.
All right, so we have a guy here in North Georgia, FCP Fishing, Dana Smith. He goes on Lanier. He throws those hair jigs, right, Clint? Tony, and he'll throw them across points, whatever. He does the same thing. 3 pops up with a rod, boom, 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 lets it fall. He catches the absolute shit at a striper, largemouth, spots. Am I missing anything?
No, he catches everything. Yeah.
Catches everything on the hair jig. Mm-hmm. But if you went to the average guy at the average tackle shop and said, throw a hair jig, they all be like, yeah. So what is it about a hair jig that could put more fish in the boat for you?
It's just natural the way it moves. That's probably more like a bucktail style jig you're talking about, or like a small preacher style jig, I'm assuming. Usually when people ask me about hair jigs, it's like the little marabou ones for small.
Yeah, he does tie more of like your standard marabou jig.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Dana. And then he'll have some flash stuff in it too. Like it's kind of like a hybrid between a marabou and your standard preacher.
They just move natural in the water. Just no like negative cues to them. A lot of, especially when you get in clear water, a lot of stuff's got too much action, you know.
Yeah. So he's from what, Oklahoma? Is that not where Dana's from? Is Oklahoma?
I have no
idea.
It's
a walleye jig that he has figured out that striper and spotted bass on Lanier love. So, it is what it is. All right, Dylan wants to know, do you throw multi-jointed swim baits up north for smallmouth at all?
I do. I guess like a 2-piece. The 3-piece stuff I don't really get into, but 2-piece swim baits for sure.
I am 100% way behind on the comments.
Oh, yeah. We're way back.
Listen, the Tito's is kicking in. You see anything?
Father Time asked, how long is your leader when you tie the braid? So, like, if you're on your go-to flipping setup, how long do you
Okay. I don't have an exact number for you, but this is what I do. I tie my FG knot, then I reel it up my rod till it gets to the very first or last guide, however you want to count it, closest to the reel. And then I'll take my leader, pull it down to the end of my rod, and cut it off right there. I don't know how long that is. It's probably like 12 foot, something like that. But that way I get a bunch of reties out of it. You just really don't want it in that like 6 foot range, because then your knot's really close to your tip when you're swinging it in and out. And I got buddies back home, dude, they'll flip like a 2-3 foot leader all the time, which is really all you need. I like the longer one just for more reties. And then when you get a fish close to the boat, you get a lot more give.
Okay. All right. Let's see here.
Is the fish? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Clint.
I was gonna say, is the fish whistle banned in major tournaments? This is a funny one.
What's the fish whistle?
I don't know if it's banned or not.
I don't know if it is or not.
What is that?
Sims makes it.
Okay, all right, there you go. I don't know. I'm having fun right here.
Yeah, you hit the fish whistle and you start getting bit. Works every time.
I feel like I'm on the at the line cutter party right now. I really do. How's the upcoming Classic in Knoxville going to be won? By catching smallmouth or largemouth bass? Let's be focused on smallmouths in 2023.
Yeah. Probably smallmouth, maybe a mixed bag. I have a hard time believing you could win that tournament on all largemouth. Just because the average, there's big largemouths in there for sure, but you'd have to, unless you were catching 1 or 2 of those a day, which is really hard to do there. I don't think you'd be able to compete with the smallmouth.
Okay, fair enough. Ken Pruitt wants to know, Danny, which is me, needs experience. Mills Lax, is that how you pronounce that?
Millax
in the winter, ice fishing, and then a windy smallmouth day in the summer. Look, I want to go ice fishing because
you don't need to.
No, look, I see that, and you're in a little hut. You're drinking beer. Some guys have TV heaters.
Oh yeah. They
whatever.
got I want out there.
Like, what's the best place to go ice fishing?
I don't go ice fishing.
You don't bullshit. Tell me.
It's terrible. No, I've gone a bunch, but like I haven't gone in probably 5-6 years, and I don't plan on ever going ever again.
Why not?
It sucks, man. Dude, if you want to go sit in a hut and get drunk with your buddies, it's cool. You can do that. You can do that in your garage, and you won't fall through the ice. You know what I mean?
Well, I do that.
Like if you want to fish, it sucks. Like I don't know.
I'd like to take Clint and Tony and a couple of the other guys from the bike club up to Michigan, wherever, Minnesota.
Yeah,
ice fish just one time.
Yeah. I guess one time it'd be fun. It's just like I got ADD too bad. Like I drop my bait to the bottom jig at once and I want to move, and that's just not an option. It is an option, but it's so much work. It's not like cranking up the boat and running somewhere. Like it's a process. Yeah. Like
I want to go spear some sturgeon through the ice. I know my buddy Aaron Skripchek does that all the time.
Yeah.
January or whatever. That seems like
pike spearing's fun too.
Yeah.
Clint, how do you spear fish to the ice?
Pitchfork, maybe.
Cut a big hole in the ice, and you use a dark shack so everything's blacked out, and you can see really good.
Have you done that?
You just got like a trident. You can just.
Have you done it?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's way better than ice fishing. You should go spearing, but you got to be like quiet. That's not really a drinking game. That's kind of you're hunting.
Well, we want a drinking game, of course.
Okay, we can do both.
One more question for Jeremiah. What are your confidence baits for smallmouths? Is there variability between them as far as the rivers or the lakes? Trying to see if you throw anything that everyone else isn't using.
Yeah, rivers to lakes are way different. A river smallmouth's nothing like a lake smallmouth. River smallmouth's mostly power fishing. That's like top waters, swim jigs, spinner baits, jerk baits, craws and stuff like that. Catch a lot on a jig. Lake fishing smallmouth's pretty much all. A lot of spinning rod stuff, jig head minnow, hair jigs, drop shots, Ned rigs, things of that nature. A lot more finesse.
I got you. Jeremiah wants to know, what was your favorite product at ICAST this year? Anything you saw that you think will be a game changer? And I'm going to go ahead and say this. I told everybody, I went down there, and other than guys taking silicone skirts, right? Clint, Tony, right through, like, take a Cinco, stick some silicone through it, make it kind of like the dice baits. I didn't see a lot.
Yeah, no, I'd say that was probably the least exciting ICAST I'd ever, as far as new baits went, I'd ever been to. But
if you could change the game as far as a bait, if Seth Feider could invent a bait that would change the game, what would it be?
Oh, I ain't even trying to do that.
Like I'm good.
I'm just gonna feed him a jig till I die.
I get it. So
what is it about a jig that you like so much? Like what do you think?
I can do anything with it, and it catches big ones.
That's fair enough.
I can put it anywhere. Like I can lock it in my hand and just everything I come across, put it right next to it, and it catches big ones.
Fair enough.
We get people on the show all the time that they say I stink at jig fish and I can't figure it out. And Danny,
hell yeah.
I fell in love with a jig years ago, fishing tournament, with a buddy. He said, "Man, buy some jigs. We're gonna throw them." I threw them at docks, catching largemouth. What tips could you give somebody? I know putting it in your hand, locking it.
Yeah, it's just locking it in your hand. Like if you want to learn how to fish a jig, bring one rod to the lake, fish a jig, and go throw it on a bluff, go drag it on a point, go skip it under a dock, pitch it on a lay down, whatever. Just like the problem is they pick it up, they make, try it for a little bit, don't catch a fish on it, they put it down, and they're back to dragging their shaky head around or whatever they do to get a bite, a wacky worm, whatever it is.
You just call Danny out on all of them.
Well, they're fish catching baits. I get it. You like catching fish.
Seth, I will go out and say, look, I'm going to dedicate today on fishing nothing but a jig. 20 minutes in, I'm like, screw this. Shaky head, I want to catch fish. Yeah, I get it. I'm that guy that everybody makes fun of. Now, listen, cranking and yanking. Now, I got to tell you this about cranking and yanking, Seth. He's from Louisiana.
Okay.
He's a grumpy ass old man that lives in Louisiana.
Hell yeah.
And we love him.
Yeah, he sounds awesome.
We love his ass. He fishes Caddo or whatever and all that. He hates forward-facing sonar. Okay? But he wants to know, and we love you cranking and yanking. How about them MLF boys fishing Caddo this week? I don't know if you keep up with that and all that. Have you?
I normally do. I didn't know that. Is this like one of those team tournament deals or something? Like,
who the hell knows?
Does this happen a year ago and it's just airing on TV now?
No, it's right now.
It's happening right now? I did not know. I'm sorry.
It's got the cypress trees.
Oh, I know what Caddo is. I just didn't know.
Okay, well,
listen, tournament there.
Just for him, if you were going to fish Caddo tomorrow, how would you approach it?
Ooh, this is a rough time of year. It'd be junk fishing. I'm assuming, I don't know. I mean, if there's something to punch, that's where I'd be. Punching, frogging, and then if the cypress trees were open, glide baiting around them. I know they catch them a little bit offshore there too. I wouldn't necessarily mess with that. Probably how it's going to be one, but
okay.
Yeah, I'd probably honestly, I think I could do if there was enough of that hyacinth or whatever they had there, you could probably catch a decent bag punching right now.
Okay,
Seth, did you live stream at all from during your tournaments? Do you live stream at all?
No, I got a camera guy that's rolling with.
I knew you had.
He kind of just chops up some stuff after the day and puts together like a little reel and some YouTube stuff, but nothing live.
We had a question down the line here. What's your thought about Bass? Banning the live streaming during tournaments?
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Like, it makes sense if you're like in the top 10 and you got a live camera. I get that, but if it's first day of the tournament, you don't have a camera or whatever, third day of the tournament, and you're in 40th place. Like, I don't know why you shouldn't be able to live stream, but whatever.
I thought that
it doesn't affect me.
I thought it turned a lot of people on to watching the tournament.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I don't get why they're.
And it gives you a different something to watch, especially when you're in between a million commercials or whatever you're watching it on, or the guys that don't have a Roku or whatever the blocks in between streams are. It gives you something to watch too.
I'm all for it. Yeah.
And it's something we've all said, if I could watch the angler that I wanted to watch, I would watch more of it, and they're giving it to you. So they're kind of taking it away. So that was from Jeremy Conker. He had asked that question on down the line.
I heard some were really good. I heard Zeldane's was really cool too.
Yep.
He almost kind of had it like almost added it where they'd switch cameras, and like I think Trait was on there answering some questions or something. I don't know. I heard it was good though.
Okay, Clint, take it over for a second. I'm about to piss in my pants. Take it over. I gotta go.
I've got one from Paul Bork. He said, if you see Bigfoot while you're hunting, are you gonna shoot it? And then the follow up is, where are you mounting it in your house?
I mean, on the shooting it depends if he was coming at me, I'm shooting for sure. But at the same time, I believe I don't think you'd ever lay your hands on Bigfoot, even if you did shoot them. I think they kind of
you don't think
they evaporate into thin air when they die. That's why you don't find any remains from them. So unless he was attacking me, which they don't do, so I don't really fear that. I don't think I'd be shooting. And like I said, I think if you killed one, you would just you just see like a little bit of green smoke float up in the air, and everybody would just think you're crazy,
Hey, if you ever get to North Georgia, we got a pretty cool Bigfoot museum up here. So
do you?
Oh yeah, it's really good, really good. Spend hours in there doing all the different stuff, seeing all the little displays they've got.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm in there.
What do you think they eat?
Yeah,
I think they're omnivores. They do whatever. I think they kind of scavenge their meat and then say I'm on the berries and the fiber.
I'm in there peeing, and I'm like, they're talking about Bigfoot. I'm missing this, and I'm like, Seth, this is what popped into my mind while I'm peeing and all that. I shouldn't say that, but like, if you had to attract a Bigfoot, what bait would you put out to bring a Bigfoot in so that you could capture it, shoot it, whatever?
I think they're more audible. I think you'd be better off calling them.
Can you do a Bigfoot call? Can you do a call?
No, I'm not real familiar with their language, but I think that'd be your best option during breeding season. In the fall.
I love it.
Calling them. You got to get way back in the bush, so.
Do you remember Ryan, Tony? You remember when Ryan was on here and he did the Bigfoot call?
Oh yeah.
We have a guy that up here in North Georgia that loves Bigfoot. They hit the trees. Remember, they hit the trees a couple times.
Yeah.
And they do
heard that.
They do a call. And if I did that, nobody would ever watch the show again and all that. Would that not be a good episode if we could go out in North Georgia and trap a Bigfoot?
Dude, I love Bigfoot stuff. I mean, I'm all about it.
I think it's absolutely. Bigfoot's everywhere. Minnesota has their own Bigfoot. Oregon has.
Yeah, you got to have big woods, though. I mean, you're not going to see them in the suburbs. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, let me ask
you. Got to be back in the. I mean, you better be at least a mile off a road. You know what I mean?
Okay, Seth. Let me ask you this: you could win another Bassmaster AOI, or you could catch a Bigfoot. Which would you rather do?
Bigfoot.
Hell yeah, I like that.
How many guys have caught Bigfoot?
No,
somebody wins the AOI every year. Who gives a shit?
Now listen, okay, let me ask you this. There's a guy on YouTube. Seth, I want your opinion on this. You are an expert, whatever. That actually he was out in the woods and a female Bigfoot came up and actually took advantage of him one night.
Bred him. Yeah.
And then he stayed in the woods and she came back the second night and took advantage of him again.
Oh, yeah.
If it was you, would you have left after night 1 or would you have stayed for night 2 just to see how good Mrs. Bigfoot would have been?
Yeah, it depends on how the first night went,
How rough she was.
Listen,
yeah.
Listen, Clint and Tony over there, like they're scared as hell because Danny's asking these questions. But I just wonder, would you take 2 nights with Miss Bigfoot?
If the first night was good, yeah.
What would make a good night?
I might still be there.
Yeah, listen, what would make a good night for Miss Bigfoot to make you stay in the woods to come back for a second night?
Well, I'm not going to get too graphic, but you know the difference between good stuff and bad stuff.
Listen,
just think about the first blowjob you ever got versus the best blowjob you ever got. You know what I mean?
You think Miss Bigfoot would do a really good job?
I don't know.
I don't know. Seth. I promise you,
it's probably going to be one end of the spectrum. It's probably going to be the best or worst you've ever had.
I would probably find her being a little toothy.
It's good.
You know. See, Clint and Tony over there like, holy shit. I can't believe Danny is asking that question. But I promise you, Seth Feider will never be on a podcast where we've talked about Mrs. Bigfoot's love-making abilities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're definitely down that path.
Yeah.
I'd run like hell, but you know what? There's a part of me that would like, you know what? If it's good, we might stay an extra night right there. All right, let's get back on the regular fishing stuff. Listen, Seth, Clint and Tony are going to fuss at me after the show. I can't believe you actually asked Seth Feider about Bigfoot's love-making ability. If you had to pick only one, would you rather catch a 5-fish limit of 50 pounds or have a bag limit in one day of black duck, canvasback, pintail, mandarin, cinnamon and teal, king elder? I guess that's ducks.
Eider.
Yeah, eider.
That's a really good question. Like the 50-pound is the 50-pound limit during a derby?
Sure.
Okay. If it's in a derby, I'm probably taking that. If not, I don't know, like a mandarin duck, I'll probably never even see one of those. I forgot what else he had on there, cinnamon teal too, or something. I mean, most of those, half of them I've killed, half of them I haven't. But if the 50 pounds in a Elite Series derb, I'll take the 50 pounds.
Okay, 50 pounds in an Elite derb, or you get to actually record you making love to a female Bigfoot.
I guess I do the Bigfoot. I mean, you're talking about once in a lifetime stuff, man.
If you put that on Feet Finder, you're making some money, son.
We got an OnlyFans coming up. Seth Feider and Mrs. Bigfoot. $5.99 a month right here. Here we go. If you could only use one technique to fish for smallmouth, what would it be?
Oh,
I hate these serious questions after we're talking about Seth Feider making love to Bigfoot. It is what it is.
I mean, probably gonna be either the tube or jig head minnow, one of the two. The only two that would work all year.
I've got a question, kind of sort of follow up with that.
Yeah.
What about a tube is special? Because I'll be honest, I've never used a tube. It was getting big when I got out of fishing. When I got back in, I just went with a jig. I didn't even pick up a tube, and I want to try it. So what is it about a tube that's special?
It imitates everything. It gets bit all year. There's little nuances to a tube, like the way it falls and stuff like that. But I think really the biggest thing is it just kind of imitates everything.
Okay.
When's the last time you had a real good derb on a tube?
I mean, I catch a lot of bass every year flipping a tube. This year on Lake Fork I didn't, but I don't know. I've had some top 10s flipping a tube.
All right.
Usually spring tournaments around the spawn.
I'm going to go out and buy a tube and the whole rig. What do I need? What's the best tube? What's the rig?
What are we talking? Flipping tubes or
yeah,
smallmouth tubes?
Flipping. I'm down here in Georgia. I'm going to be going for largemouth or whatever, spotted bass, whatever.
It's 4-inch green pumpkin tube. You need like a 4/0 extra wide gap hook. Keep the weight light though, like 3/16 quarter, 5/16 is the biggest weight I'll flip on a tube. Don't put your bobber stop all the way tight. I put it like 3 inches above the knot of my bait. That way you'll get the action out of it. And then when you hook a tube, like in the top, you just barely, as little plastic that will hold your tube on there. Like normally, you put your hook in like a 1/4 inch, pop it out, and Texas rig it. I mean, just skin hook like when you set the hook, you want to have a wacky rig on there. Okay. Essentially, like you want that head ripping off the second you set the hook. So that's where everybody messes up. They go in and take like a 1/4 inch of that tube, put their extra wide gap in there, and then when they set the hook, the head of the tube balls up on the hook, and then it's just a big mess on there. You want literally just skin hook the very top and then finish your Texas rig. Then when you set the hook, that thing will just rip immediately, and you're straight hook.
Are you tucking the hook back into the tube?
Yeah.
Or leaving it out? Okay.
Yeah, tucking it back in, but it's the head part's the tricky part.
I got
or where people go wrong, I should say.
That's juicy.
Right. Cool. You guys caught up? You guys give me a quick. I mean, I'm buzzed out of my mind over here. I'm trying to figure out the next question.
Game's a little too hard.
I'm probably, there's guys that follow me like, oh shit, Danny. Gary Bell, which win or big catch means the most to you personally, and why?
I mean, I haven't really accomplished that much. I guess that AOI, that means the most to me. I just don't have I got a long list of wins to sift through here. That means the most to me, I suppose.
Man, AOI is huge though.
That's what I was thinking, Tony. I'm like, you know what? We've had a lot of guys on here, and we ask them what's more important, Bassmaster Classic or AOI, and every one of them say AOI. Fair enough, Clint, Tony.
I'd rather have a classic win, but
really,
I think AOI is harder to do, no doubt.
It is, but I mean, I think personally, from somebody that Clint follows it really tight. You follow professional fishing really tight, right, Clint?
Yeah.
I dropped my pen. Tony, you're kind of like me. We pay attention to it,
right?
But we're more about just kind of the everyday thing. When I see somebody win an AOI, whether it be elites, whatever, I'm like, that's really damn impressive because anybody can win a classic or a big tournament for one weekend. AOI, you've got to go tournament to tournament to tournament to tournament and be consistent. I think that's harder.
How did you deal with the pressure of AOI? Like you're halfway through your AOI season in 21 and you're fishing good, you're feeling good. Like, how did you go through the pressure? Like, oh shit, like I'm in contention. Like, did you have tournament days where you're like, oh shit, I'm not catching them like I should be? Like, how was that mentally throughout the season of your AOI year? Like, did you have a big pressure on you? Like, I got to stay catching them, or how'd you handle that?
I did towards the end of it, but man, it was just one of them years where like, just everything went right. Like the fishing was so good that it just really took the pressure off. Like anytime I needed one, I caught one. Like the only time it fell apart is when really it shouldn't even have mattered. Like the very last tournament of the year, I kind of fell apart, but I was like, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 points ahead at that point. So I really shouldn't have been nervous at all, which was the one that I was like absolutely the most nervous for. But the year just went so smoothly. It was like, I mean, I'd get a little nervous for tournaments, which I always do, but like, it just, hell, I'd always start on the right place and like I always make the right decision. And like, even if it wasn't that great of a day, I'd be like, oh, I need one more good one. I'd run somewhere and catch a 4-pounder. Like it went so smoothly. It was hard to get too worried about till the last tournament. Then like the first day of the last tournament of the year, I think I lost we were at St. Lawrence. I think I dumped 20 pounds. And the first hour I was there, I got one tiny fish in the boat, 10, 11 o'clock or something like that. But like I said, I was pretty well over it at that point. But that was the only one I got super, super nervous for. And I don't know. I wasn't really thinking about it much before, I think, because I was kind of just, I don't know. I really didn't get the big lead to the last couple tournaments of the year. I was kind of just floating around in the top 5 until then. And I think I had a couple good tournaments, and the guys that were kind of around me all had a couple bad tournaments right before the last one. And I don't know. Kind of ended up there.
So, when you won that one, basically to start off the year, you were just fishing. You were fishing to win, and you happened to end up in the AOI run that year. Obviously, you said you got nervous towards the end. If you were going to attack a second, let's say I'm going to focus on winning an AOI, do you feel like you would have to change anything? Are you going to have to? I hear other guys talk about they really focused on winning the AOI and having to really just kind of give up personal life and just focus on the fishing, or are you just going to go out fishing and what happens?
Yeah. It'd be I wasn't planning on trying to win it the year it happened,
Right.
It just kind of did. I'm just going to go out and try to catch everything I can catch every single day. And it is what it'll shake out how it shakes out. It's never that would never, I don't know. That just never ends up being a goal of mine at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
I always want to qualify for the Classic next year and win a tournament is my goal every year, and it doesn't usually work out. But that's what I set my sights on. And
do you find you get more peace that way fishing that way instead of trying to focus on something so hard like that?
I think so. If I sat there and was counting points every night after every tournament, I think it would take a lot away from. I try to keep it pretty laid back and very simple, and not get too high or too low,
I got you.
Okay, friend. Let me ask you this, Seth. If you're having a shit day on the water,
yeah,
which we all do.
Oh yeah.
Spinning out. A lot of guys talk about that. If you find yourself in that position, is there something you do to kind of bring yourself back to okay, you center yourself. I'm going to go fish the rest of the day. Yeah, the morning sucked, but I'm good. You got something you do?
Sometimes I'll take a little mini break and kind of refocus, but usually just keep grinding until the bell goes off,
Yeah, I got
until
it.
I can't no more. And it seems like, I don't know.
Okay.
You'll get what you need if you do it.
Oh, go ahead.
Andy Miller wants to know, what about the Derby boys? Is there ever going to be more of the Derby boys?
There will be a little bit, but not to the extent it was planned out to be. There's 4 of us rooming together. Now we're in 2 sets of 2s, and the camera guy that came and filmed the whole first season, kind of screwed us out, all that stuff. Ended up wanting a bunch more money, and it was just a nightmare.
They always want more money, right?
Oh yeah,
camera guys suck.
Oh yeah. He tried billing us for the Costa sunglasses that blew off his hat on a boat ride.
See, Clint?
Just stupid stuff like that. Oh yeah, those $300 pair of sunglasses.
I talked to Clint and them about a show.
You should have put some $20 straps.
It's always the camera guy. It's not the anglers. It's not the editor. It's the camera guy, Clint.
Yep, for sure.
You guys are assholes. I'm just going to say it like that. How does Seth feel about the giant heads in the lake, on TV showing when they're fishing? We're sitting back. We're in our living rooms. We're watching Bassmaster on Fox or whatever, and they got your head fishing off a certain point. Does that ever kind of piss you off, them showing?
Yeah, I hate that.
You hate that?
Yeah, but I've just come to terms with it. I just I don't go anywhere twice anymore. I have waypoints, I just throw them all away. I'll keep them for that week or whatever, but I'm not the thing I don't like about it, I don't mind the locals, whatever, have at it. You know what I mean? It's we go back there the next year and then some guy I'm fishing against who watched the tournaments then on that spot. That's what pisses me off. I don't know. I feel like that. Like I can't think of a more embarrassing thing to do. You know what I mean? I don't know. No one else has a problem with it because they just go ahead and do it. Like the classic coming up. You know how many people are going to start where first day of practice are going to start where Gussie caught them?
Yeah.
Like I get it. Like that's where the tournament was won. Like I could not think of a more embarrassing thing I could possibly do than to pull my boat up there and fish there.
And imagine having Gussie pull up on you like that. Like I can't imagine that feeling of like,
yeah.
Well, you know, for the average guy, you know, I'm watching this. I'm thinking about you guys. You always have a camera boat, and then you guys have the locals following you or whatever. To me, that would be a big pain in the ass. And I know you're supposed to be like, you know, an ambassador of the sport and all that, but you're trying to win a big check, and you got Tom D 50 yards off of you, like watching every move and all that. I have no idea what that's like. You know, and the common guy like us, we have no idea what it's like to have guys following you around everywhere you go. Does it ever just get on your damn nerves?
Not usually, no. It depends on the scenario. If you're fishing like more main lake stuff or open water stuff, it's not that big a deal. The only time is when it becomes a pain in the butt is like if you're running like the backs of pockets and they're like real skinny and you got a bunch of floating docks all on both sides, and it's like you run back and you just want to fish like the last 50 yards of a pocket, and then you go to turn around and then you got to like you can't get out of there because a bunch of people followed you in there. But if you're just on like a main lake shore or like open water fishing, they don't really get in the way at all.
Okay, fair enough. If a southern guy like any of us three, we're going to head north tomorrow, what lake do we need to stop by on our way to Minnesota or in Minnesota that is a must fish fishery?
Mille Lacs.
What's so good about that?
30-pound bags of smallmouth, like on the regular.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
like after Clint, what do you think about
I shouldn't say that. Like 25 to 28 is very average.
Hey.
Mediocre days there right now, and 30 is really catching them.
What's your top smallmouth of all time? What's your PB smallmouth?
My biggest one, I got 3 of them all around like 7.2, 7.1.
Wow.
What's the biggest spotted bass you've ever seen?
Oh man, I don't know. Like I wish I would have set the hook on it. The biggest one I've ever weighed has been like 4.5 maybe. But I deep down in my heart, I believe I shook off like a 5 to 6 pound spotted bass out of Neely Henry, out of all places, believe it or not. Like day before the Elite Series tournament on a white swim jig, like he ate my stuff like 10 feet from the boat, that far underneath the surface. I watched this giant spot come up out of the edge of the water well and swallow my swim jig. And I just free spooled until he came off. And I wish I would have set the hook on that fish so bad because I never saw him again during the tournament.
I was going to say Neely Henry's a tough lake anyway. It'd be a hard one to pass up anyway.
Is that not the lake that Fisher said the other day is the worst lake in Alabama that he's ever fished? Was Neely Henry?
It is.
I love that lake.
You like the lake?
It's got water. If it's got water willow in it, I love it.
It's one of those grass lakes that it's kicked my butt. I've caught good fish on it, but I also had it kick my butt more times than not because I don't fish it very often. But yeah.
All right, let me give you a couple more questions before we let you go right here. Do you plan to put out a tungsten football jig to go with your cage/stealth jigs?
We will have a tungsten football jig coming out. It won't be under my name. One of my buddies, Alec Morrison, will be designing that. I'll have a couple tungsten jigs, but there'll be a grass flipping and a wood flipping version.
All right, perfect. And then, of course, our Michigan lady right here, Kendra, says, are you superstitious at all when it comes to tournament day? Are there things that you will not do or will do to kind of keep your mind, focused?
Oh, yeah, lots of them. Like, I listen to the same playlist every morning on the way to the takeoff. Like, I'm super superstitious.
What is it? What's your playlist? What is Seth Feider?
It's just a bunch of gangster rap.
You like rap music, dude?
I like it all. Like, I like country music just as much, but I'm not listening to that on the way to blast off.
Are you listening to the older stuff, the new stuff, or
nothing super new? It's a lot of J. Cole. I gotta go back like Outkast and
well, I like Outkast.
Yeah, it's like
I like Outkast.
Late 90s to I don't know, like 2018 ish. I guess is most of my music.
How old are you, Seth?
I'm 40 years old.
See, that makes sense. I'm 53. I would be more of a Van Halen, Motley Crue, 80s hair rock kind of guy. If you could have like a walk-up song by any band whatsoever, what would it be?
We got them on the Elite series. Mine's a J. Cole song.
Is that rap? I have no idea.
Yeah, he's a rapper. Yeah.
Cranking and yanking, our old fart from Louisiana goes, insert eye roll here. Sure. So a couple more questions real quick. We'll let you go. Seth, do you prefer grinder tournaments or smash fests? And
grinders. Smash fests are like out of control and like so hard to do well in.
You did well in a smash fest this year.
Yeah, but that's just kind of luck of the draw. It's just, and it's hard to know when you're doing good in a smash fest too. Like the first day of those northern tournaments is always so nerve-wracking coming into weigh-in because I don't care if you catch 20 pounds and you're just like, am I going to be in 10th or 60th? Like, you don't know. And like you go to a grinder tournament, you get a limit and you boat flop a 4 or 5 pounder in there at the end of the day. Like, you caught them, like, no doubt about it. Like, I like the grinders, but like with big fish, if that makes any sense. Like, not like a Sabine where it's like you're catching 2 pounders, but like just kind of more like a fall grinder bite where it's like 5, 6, 7 bites a day, junk fishing. Most of them are going to be okay, and you get one big one. Those are like my favorite kind of tournaments.
Okay, fair enough. Real quick, let's get a few more in here. Andy Williams, Seth, what's your go-to punch bait?
I like a small, like beaver cross style bait. I don't think it really much matters. Most of the time, it's with a big weight. It's pure reaction bite. I just like something compact and holds the hook good and goes through the cover well. You don't want a big giant bait. It's got to be something small and compact, but got enough beef to your hook's not falling out of it all the time.
Okay, fair enough. Cranking and yanking. What do you think about the Strike King Bitsy Bug?
Strike King Bitsy Bug is a good jig. The hook is marginal at best. Like, but it gets bites. It is a good jig. The hook needs some improvement.
Okay. What's your dream non-endemic sponsor?
Playgirl.
Probably Marble Lights.
No, like, hey, Seth, would
you be a sick boat wrap?
Yeah.
If Playgirl came up to you tomorrow and said, hey, listen, we'll give you X amount of dollars if you pose nude for our centerfold, would you do it?
What's the X?
Let's say, what would it be? What would it cost for Seth Feider to get to, what would it cost you to pose nude in Playgirl? What's your price, dog?
They're not going to pay me what I would want is the problem. You know what I mean? Like, I might need a few mil, but that ain't. That ain't realistic.
I do it for $10 and a 12-pack of Miller Lite.
No, I got kids. I need some. I need enough money to go disappear. You know what I mean?
I got that. Last question of the night: is the Nico rig or shaky head better?
I'd say majority of the time a Nico rig. I do know spotted bass got something about them. They just love a shaky head. But I'd say for sure largemouth and smallmouth, a Nico rig's better.
Okay.
I've got one more off the wall question from Paul Bork. He said,
from Paul.
Does Bigfoot have a human-like dick or a red rocket like a dog?
Oh, that is a Paul.
I don't know. I ain't never seen it.
What would you think? Like,
I would think it'd be kind of red rockety just because they're so furry. I don't know.
We got to figure out, is that the Minnesota Bigfoot, the North Georgia Bigfoot, the Oregon Bigfoot?
They're all kind of kin. You know what I mean? They're cousins.
I can't believe Paul asked that question.
I mean, that's a great question. I don't know, man.
It's a very good question, but it's not one
I kind of hope I never find out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it goes back to that if you were in the woods camping, if Seth Feider was in the woods camping and a female Bigfoot came up.
Well, we ain't talking about a female Bigfoot.
It's not a female.
Listen,
it's a lot different now.
Yeah.
So if you were drawing Bigfoot, what would you draw? I think it's
you know what? All I can think of is Deliverance. When a male Bigfoot comes in the picture right there, squeal like a pig, I would run like hell and all that. Again,
I mean, I just don't think they're like that. I think they're more like your killer. Like killer whales never attack humans. I just think Bigfoot's kind of the same way.
Would you make love to a Bigfoot?
I think we've already discussed that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
on record.
I don't know if you'd have an option. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
she would be kind of tough. I imagine she would be the alpha in that relationship.
Yeah.
So listen, this is.
I don't think they're like that. I think they're peaceful.
You think they would?
I don't think they're gonna rape you.
But Seth, at the end of the day, if a female Bigfoot came up to you and said, "Seth, drop him," you're gonna drop it, right? Come on, Seth.
You'd probably catch some crazy disease though.
Listen, he's gonna go back.
Come back to population and just everybody would just die.
After this show's over, he's gonna call his buddies. He's gonna be like, "Do not go on that Fish North podcast because I'm gonna ask you if you'll make love to a Bigfoot." I mean, he didn't have that on his bingo card coming into the night. So anyway, listen though, Seth. Honestly though, we appreciate you being a good sport and answering all the guys' questions, and of course, our demented questions from the host and everything like that, and Paul Borker, Strike King, and all that. Just let you know it's out there and all that. But for me personally, I saw you at ICAST, and we were sitting at the line cutters party, and I'm like, you were walking around. I'm like, that's the guy I want to talk to. And we follow you and you're fishing, all the stuff that you do. But I'm like, everybody has told me that this guy is a cool cat, and you've been that tonight. So I want to say thank you very much from Fish North Georgia. I appreciate it, and you have lived up to your reputation as being a good guy and willing to just come on and shoot the shit with the average guy. So,
appreciate it.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. And I knew Tony back then when he I know we kind of threw our wives out there. We did but I was like, it would have been worth it just to get this guy on the show. It would have been worth it. So Seth, I want to say thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, we're fans from a distance. And I won't call you one of my favorite Yankees, but you kind of are. You're north of Georgia, so anybody north of Georgia is a Yankee to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's fair enough. But listen, you're a really cool guy. You're an absolutely outstanding angler, and we appreciate you with our our viewers and all that, kind of helping them out. But you're the kind of guy that I think Clint and Tony would agree. If we were just sitting out at a deer camp, sitting around a fire, drinking a couple cold beers, you would be the kind of guy that we would want with us. Fair enough?
Yep, absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And thanks for always being an inspiration.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Yeah.
Listen, dude, I judge everybody by one thing. Could I sit out there around deer camp? Could I drink a beer with them and have a good conversation? And you absolutely have, you're definitely one of those guys. So I want to say thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully I'll get to see you at ICAST again this year. I'll come up.
Oh, yeah. We'll be there.
I'll shake your hand and, don't ever ask me any more love making questions whatsoever. But again, thank you very much.
No, you got me thinking stuff I'd never went through my head before.
Dude, I got a lot more than that.
Okay.
Got no damn rabbit holes tonight.
All right, part 2.
So when I see you in July of next year, I'm gonna walk up to you at the line cutters party and go, Seth. I go, what do you really think about a female Bigfoot? We're gonna have that conversation. We'll drink a couple of beers, smoke a couple of cigarettes, and so. But listen, you've been a kick-ass guest. I really do appreciate you taking some time with us. And again, and then Tony and Clint, you guys are awesome. I've had a great time. I'm going to sleep very well tonight. Very well.
You need to. Thanks for always being you too, Seth. Because I feel like a lot of people look up to you because you've always been the same guy, stand-up guy behind the tanks and on podcasts and in person and all that for the fans. Like you've always been a angler that's there for the fans and showing up and being there. So it's pretty cool. So appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
It is. And I'll say this, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, but kind of I am. We've always had guys that are like, could you get Seth on? And you know, I talked to you a little bit, and I told everybody from the very short experience I had with you, I'm like, what you see with Seth is what you get. He's real, right, Clint? I mean, I've
100%. Yeah.
100%. So we're fans of you, fans of yours. We hope you go kick everybody's ass and all that. We hope you have a great 26, and maybe we can get you on down the line.
Hell yeah. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
I hope I see you cracking a big one on a jig next year.
Jig. And I'm gonna say, listen, he talked about that on the show, and we'll drink some beer together or something like that. So
that'll work.
Thank you for joining us, guys. If you're watching tonight, hey, I hope you had a great time. This is one of the great guys right there. One of the guys to me that really shows what our sport could be. We have some guys that are, they're here, they're there, but Seth is Seth. And I've enjoyed tonight. I hope you guys did as well. Hope you got all your questions answered. And we will see you on the next one. We're going to get his ass back on once he holds up that classic.
Part 2.
There we go.
We'll have Seth part 2, and we might just talk duck hunt next time. Who the hell knows? Or Bigfoot and their love-making abilities. I have no idea, but it's always
Danny, let him go, dude. You've been closing the show for 15 minutes.
I can't say what I want to say. Seth, thanks a lot. Guys, we'll see you on the next one.
See y'all.
Thanks, Seth.